Yeah, we know we knock 'em down. You know we knock 'em down.
What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk. Colossal Boxing Talk is associated with Three Kings Boxing under the Movement umbrella, and I am back with another video. And I'm here to talk about Abel Sanchez, trainer of Gennady Golovkin, stating that black fighters don't have the fighting style to sell pay-per-views. And when you hear it, it kind of makes your ears perk up. But not really, because in this day and age, you know, people are getting bolder and bolder with how they really feel about whatever it is that they they feeling about a certain situation, people, whatever it is. You know, people are more bold nowadays. But you know, obviously, this is nothing new in the sport of boxing. When you try to code it with the fighting style or whatever it is, there's always a reason behind why you're saying what you're saying. You know, the racial undertones is, you know, obvious. That's the easy thing to say is, well, you know, African Americans don't, you know, or black fighters, however you want to categorize it, they don't have the fighting style. They're too defensively minded. They don't have the power. They don't have this. They don't have that. But history proves that we have the biggest drawing power. And maybe, of course, he was talking about right now. I'm pretty sure, I would hope that he was saying that. But, you know, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, recently, still doing it, you know, is a big pay-per-view draw. And you don't always have to have that offensive-minded, aggressive, pressure fighting style to draw the attention of not only, you know, the hardcore boxing fan, but the casual fan. And I think this statement was made you know, dedicated to the casual fan, because obviously a student of the game, a boxing enthusiast like myself and the other guys I associate with in the movement, we know better. We know better. But to a casual fan, when they hear the word boxing, they look up the definition. It's a combat sport, you know, involved with two men or women, you know, using gloves, throwing punches. So, you know, he's speaking to those. He's speaking to the heart of those people, or those type of fans, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't understand what they're, you know, they're watching. So obviously they're going to assume, well, these guys should be throwing punches and bunches. You know, it should be knockouts, knockdowns, and a bloodbath. But to me and other knowledgeable boxing fans, there's so much more to appreciate than just a rock'em sock'em fight. And don't get me wrong, we love a good rock'em sock'em back and forth phone booth type fight as well, as much as anybody. But we also love to see the fighter, you know, implement his game plan, you know, become the superior guy, you know, counter, set traps, you know, be able to turn all defense into offense and offense into defense, you know, be able to show that ring generalship, that IQ, that effective and aggressiveness, that defense. We love to see all the nuances, you know, displayed when we're watching fights. So for Abel Sanchez to say that, man, it's just, you know, definitely a bad look, because he's looked at as one of the top trainers in the sport of boxing, with one of the top fighters, in a growing stable of guys who are under his tutelage. You know, he mentioned Terry Norris, a great fighter, you know, 154-pound, you know, junior middleweight champion, Hall of Famer. He said that when he got with Terry Norris, he turned him into a Mexican-style fighter and more aggressive. And maybe that's true, but the true essence of Terry Norris was who he, you know, is. You added wrinkles to his game, but he was already the defensive, slick type fighter that he was before you got with him, and you just made him a well-rounded fighter. So don't say that African-American fighters have to have a certain style to be successful, because Floyd Mayweather is living proof, you know, that, you know. And Sugar Ray Leonard, to a different extent, he was more aggressive than Floyd, but he also could box your ears off. But back to Floyd was able to do it in a different way. He used his personality. You know, he played the villain role. That, you know, that with his work ethic, his skills, you know, kind of worked for him and it drew people to him. They either wanted to see him win or they wanted to see him lose. And they always came out, whether it was buying tickets or buying the pay-per-view. They found a way to watch Floyd. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Abel brought up, well, when Floyd was 130 pounds, 135 pounds. Yes, that was true, but Floyd wasn't a fucking pay-per-view fighter then. He left Top Rank for a reason. He was on the rise. Of course, Floyd was, more offensively aggressive, but he was still as defensively responsible back then as he is now. He just so happened to turn that shit on the offensive end up because, for one, his hands wasn't as brittle, and for two, he was much younger, you know what I'm saying? But he adjusted. As he went up in weight, he realized, man, I don't want to get hit. I don't want to have brain damage. He looked at all the, the unfortunate boxers that have, succumbed to injuries or, have been permanently damaged from this brutal sport we call boxing. So he adjusted. He implemented even more of a defensive first fight style, but it still paid dividends for him. So I don't like to hear Abel Sanchez say that shit, man, because obviously, he has a problem with the guys who fight similar to Floyd Mayweather because he has a big rematch. Well, his fighter has a big rematch against Canelo Alvarez, and Canelo Alvarez moved a lot in their first fight, and that's one of the things that Abel Sanchez has been, harping on. Well, Canelo said he was going to do this, but he did the opposite, and so he felt like, that he disappointed, the fans that came and bought tickets in order to fight. But honestly, he's speaking for himself. He's not speaking for a majority of the boxing fan. We appreciate greatness displayed. We appreciate everything about boxing. That's why we are the true boxing fans, the true boxing enthusiasts. You know what I'm saying? So, and you got to think of Jamal Charlo. He's a guy that is clearly on the radar of, Gennady Golovkin, and he clearly has Gennady Golovkin on his radar. And, Abel Sanchez doesn't like that. He doesn't like that he called him out, that Charlo called out Golovkin. Feels that he needs to earn it more. So he's bringing up the fight style. But one thing he cannot do with Jamal is try to play that, because Jamal, if he lacks that exciting style, you know what he doesn't lack? That power. He has the power to knock out any middleweight in the world. And he also is aggressive. Jamal is an aggressive fighter. Even if he wasn't, he still has the power. So that argument is none and void, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion. I mean, it's just so much layers you can uncover, but I'm not going to harp on it much longer. We know where it stands at. It's bullshit to say that black fighters and their fight styles doesn't sell. You need a lot of things to help contribute to, being a big pay-per-view draw. Because if it was the case, if it was that easy, everybody would sell. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would. You got to have a great promoter. You got to either have a great fighting style or aggressive fighting style, or a big personality, big power. It must be CTV. So there's a lot of variables that play into determining if you're a pay-per-view draw or not. But if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to Colossal Boxing Talk. Drop those comments in the comment section below. Be sure to go over to Facebook. Smack that like button on the Colossal Boxing Talk Facebook page. Follow me, Big Cool, on Twitter at ColossalCBT. Turn the notifications on to get notified every time I upload content. Shout out to everybody in the movement that's moving with us. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.